Hi everyone, it's Jen here from Tarot Spirit. I'm at a campground in Maine and some people are setting up near me, so it's you may hear some background noise, but so this is a bare bones setup. Yeah, so let's get started. So I'm going to use my Crystal Visions today. And I already had some cards fall out, so I'm not going to shuffle. I haven't looked at them, but let's see. And it's windy, so I may have to put some of these stones on the cards. Okay, so the first card we have, is the Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords comes up when we really need to release some negative thought patterns and bad behaviors and self-sabotaging behaviors that no longer serve us. And it can be one of the more dreaded cards of the tarot, but it's also actually, I believe, a very, very positive one in the sense that as painful as it may have been, you've come to the realization that you need to let go and leave these thoughts behind and shift how you think about things. So in order to move on, think of all these are all negative thoughts that have just, pinned you down and held you down. And this card is about releasing them and moving on and no longer being forced to accept those negative thought patterns that we have, or refuse to think about a situation the same way you have, so you can release yourself and move on. Oh, another Swords. So we're in our heads this week. This is the Four of Swords, and I think this is actually a great card to come after the 10, even though I do know 4s before 10, because this is giving yourself a break and resting. So after you've gotten to the 10 of Swords and you've sort of hit rock bottom and realized that you need to let some things go, this is about, recuperation and, give yourself a break for maybe having stayed in a situation or not realize something about a situation longer than you probably should have. We're all human, and always remember that if you hadn't gone through the experience the way you had, you maybe would not have felt that you did everything you could, or you explored every possibility or every option and things like that. So you had to go through it the way you went through it for a reason. And now you can move on with more wisdom and clarity about your situation. And this is just to give yourself a break and give yourself time to heal before you move forward, or as you're moving forward. And the final card is the Four of Pentacles. So another 4. So I think this has shown that we've let something go, but we're a little afraid to move forward, to do that other step of letting go. So we've let go of something, but now we're sort of we're resting and recuperating with the Four of Swords, and we're a little bit afraid to move forward because of this Ten of Swords experience that we've had in the past. So this card is about boundaries, and life. A lot about life is about boundaries: who to let in, who you let in too much, who to keep out, and how to. Some people respect boundaries really well. Some barge right through them, and then they get offended. But they have, it's this constant dance that humans do between each other. And so I think this just shows a little bit of that we're maybe a little timid moving forward. which is understandable. But I think this is the key card of this spread, actually, is to think about boundaries. And if you've set boundaries to had too rigid of boundaries, or you've sort of just had no boundaries, and figuring that out and figuring out how to set boundaries and let people know what your boundaries are is very difficult. And sometimes, no matter how delicately you express your wishes and needs, people don't always take it well, and you kind of have to just understand that may happen. And probably these people who don't respect boundaries may not take it well, and that's why they don't respect boundaries. So I think we need to give ourselves a break this week and understand that, we will open up in time. And so this isn't our whole, every part of our life. Remember, this is sort of one situation that is sort of on our minds most this week. So this could even be quite a minor thing. I like to remind people that, when we read cards, we tend to think, we see the Tower and we're like, oh my God, I'm going to get fired and lose my house and the whole, everything's going to fall apart. But usually tarot is very subtle. So, we have no major arcanas here. This could be something, one very small part of your life that you are ready to let go of and leave behind. So the Four of Swords reminds us to give ourselves a break, and that it's okay, and that we're human and no one's perfect, and we went through that experience for a reason, and the only way it would be a waste is if we didn't gain some wisdom and perspective out of the situation. That's the best we can do. I think a good exercise to do when this card comes up is sort of to really explore what your boundaries are. And if you really, enforce your boundaries. And if you respect other people's boundaries. This is a really interesting card when you think about it as boundaries, because, there are certain things we think, and I'm not going to be able to think of an example, but, of course, but say someone doesn't want you to put a picture on Facebook. And you're like, oh my God, stop, it's a good picture, and you post it. Well, you don't think it's any big deal because you think it's a really good picture of them. But they may feel like, I didn't want that picture up. It's a picture of me, and I told you no. And you posted it anyway. So, that's the kind of the type of situation, are you really respecting, other people's boundaries or not? Or are other people respecting yours? And those are the types of things of situations that this can point to. Or do you have a friend that, is always, always happy to borrow things of yours, but then if you ask them for some help, they're never available. Things like that. Yeah. So I did want to take a peek at the bottom of the deck. The moon. We just had the full moon, and I was out camping. It was really beautiful by the ocean. So we are feeling a little confused, a little bit, just not quite sure. We just can't quite put our finger on a situation. And I think I would say that if your gut's telling you you're not quite sure, if this person is being respectful or not, they aren't. If you think they're probably not, if something, you really trust your gut. If you're really thinking, this situation doesn't quite seem right, or it's just kind of bugging you, nagging at you, just not quite, it's a little unsettling for some reason, then I think it probably really is. And you have to trust your gut. And this card really talks about listening to your intuition, and that maybe you're not seeing things clearly, not because you're incapable, but just because things aren't really clear right at the moment for whatever reason. And I just had another thought. Sorry, I'm distracted because of all the people around. Oh, what was I going to say? Anyway, it must not have been important. Yeah, it's not coming to me. So this is a short and sweet reading because I'm just trying to fit it in, and hopefully I have enough internet power to upload it. I'm not sure if that's going to happen either. This is the first time I've had any internet since Monday. So I hope you have a great week. Don't get worried. These weren't the most upbeat positive cards, but I think they're going to be really healing and beneficial. We need to go through times like these where we consider things and do a little house cleaning in our lives, and really think about what's working and what isn't, and then addressing those situations and maybe putting up some stronger boundaries or relaxing them in some cases, adjusting as needed. So thank you very much for watching my channel and supporting me. And I love doing personal readings. So if you'd like a personal reading, you can visit my website. I'll put the link below. And I hope you have a really, really wonderful week. And I'll talk to you next weekend. Take care. Bye.